This is TJ Jones, the host of the State of the Saints podcast, and the State of the Saints podcast is brought to you by Manscaped.com. Over 2 million men worldwide choose Manscaped for all their below-the-waist needs. For those that love the Lawnmower 3.0, well, I got news for you. The Manscaped engineering team has confirmed that they have successfully created the Lawnmower 4.0. The Lawnmower 4.0 gives you the ability to turn the 4000K LED spotlight on and off when needed for a more precise shave. The new trimmer even allows you to customize your trim all through additional guards lengths, sizes 1 through 4. And looks-wise, it's sleek with a two-tone matte and gloss finish, even features a hot foil stamp, black chrome Manscaped logo. Show your more off loud and proud. Go to manscaped.com, use the promo code State of Saints, and you will save 20% off of the Lawnmower 4.0 as well as other Manscaped items. That's manscaped.com. Hey, what's going on, Who Dat Nation? It is yours truly, TJ Jones, the host of the State of the Saints podcast. Thank you so much for checking out the State of the Saints podcast, where we talk New Orleans Saints. And happy Friday to you, because we're recording this show on a Friday. And yes, I am not behind a camera, Who Dat Nation, because your boy just got off work. That's right. Your boy just got off work, and I just didn't want to get behind a camera, man. And then on top of that, Paxton is here with me. Say hey. All right, we got Paxton. We got the packing man with me. And, he's going to be in and out. So he's going to be getting a lot of my attention. And, so I just decided to kind of, just be on audio. But thank y'all so much. Really do appreciate your time. We're going to be talking about the New Orleans Saints, of course. We're going to be talking about quarterback Trevor Siemian. And, of course, Trevor Siemian has been appointed the starting quarterback this week versus the Atlanta Falcons. Now, this game has a shock to some people because, of course, we know about the quarterback competition. We know about the quarterback competition that is taking place. And, in the preseason with Jameis Winston and also with Taysom Hill. So the fact that we have, and that's Paxton in the background, he's playing with his toy vacuum cleaner. But anyway, we all know about the quarterback competition between he and Jameis Winston during preseason. So a lot of people were a little bit shocked at the fact that Trevor Siemian actually got the start. But for me, I think that this was the best decision the Saints could make. I just believe that Taysom Hill can serve the Saints better as his Swiss Army roll. You look at the wide receiver group, pretty much non-existent. You look at, Alvin Kamara is basically being the only viable offensive weapon that the Saints have, him and Taysom Hill. So I think by having Trevor Siemian come in and serve as that starting quarterback, I think that it is going to serve the Saints really well. Trevor Siemian came in, early in the game versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and he did a formidable job. It was nothing to hoop and holler about. He just kept the ship afloat, right? He just made sure that it didn't sink. And Trevor Siemian, he's a smart guy, an intelligent guy. He's been around the league for quite some time. He's been a backup. He's even been a Super Bowl champion. He was a part of that Super Bowl 50 team with the Denver Broncos, and he has a couple career starts as well. So, this is a guy that knows what he's doing. And I think that if you look at the Atlanta Falcons, and no disrespect to Atlanta Falcons, well, kind of, they're not really good. It's not like the Saints are going up against some top tier competition. And I'm not looking past Atlanta because I know that Atlanta is capable of beating the New Orleans Saints. We don't know what Arthur Smith has in store. We never seen him play. The last time I seen Arthur Smith actually play against the Saints, actually call a game was with the Tennessee Titans when he was the offensive coordinator. And the Saints were lucky to get out of Nashville with a win. So I'm not going to completely dismiss the capabilities of head coach Arthur Smith, but I do feel like the New Orleans Saints, as a coaching staff, can have the right recipe to knock off the Atlanta Falcons. And I know there are a lot of Taysom Hill fans out there that want to whine and boo-hoo and cry themselves to sleep here tonight that they found out that their precious Taysom Hill isn't going to be the starting quarterback. But I'm just going to be 100% real with you. Y'all know how I do it here on the State of the Saints podcast. I don't sugarcoat. That's for the other shows. Okay. Now, I ain't calling no other shows, in particular, but y'all know the ones I'm talking about. All right. We all know that Taysom Hill is not very good at all the throws at the quarterback position. I just feel like, when it comes to the quarterback position, he leaves a lot to be desired. And not to mention, I have a very funny nickname. I call him Taysom Gillikin, because when he throws the ball down the field, it looks like a damn punt. And I'm just being honest with you. The Saints, they have some down the field threats. They got some guys that can get the ball when they get down the field. And I just feel like waiting on Taysom Hill to get the ball where it needs to be is not where it is. Okay. Now, if you're talking about short intermediate throws, then, it's cool. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, a guy that can make all the throws, I don't think that Taysom is the answer. And not to mention that I just feel like, Taysom serves well in that Swiss Army role. I mean, he's been doing a really good job. And I'm just really concerned about Taysom Hill's health when it comes to concussions. I mean, this was his third concussion in the course of a year. Now, we look at it from a seasonal standpoint, but this guy's had 3 concussions in a year, and that's dangerous, right? So I definitely want him to be 100% well. I don't want him to be out there, getting himself hurt, or getting himself concussed again, because when you start to get those multiple concussions, that's when it starts to get a little bit scary, starts to get a little bit scary. But thank y'all so much for those that are following into the chat. I really do appreciate it. Really do appreciate all the people that are chiming in right now. Special shout out to some of the familiars out there. Ghostface, we got Keen Arthur Hill, we got Chemo, we got Jerry Poirier, we got Tyra up in this thing. So many others. We got Mario in the building. And I want to say thank you all. I really do appreciate you all. And thank you for bearing with me. I took about a week off, man, to just try to recharge the batteries. I was going through a little bit of a transition, with jobs and everything like that. And also, man, just my mental space, I want to make sure that I wasn't giving people just half-assing it, so I'm just being real. I like to be as authentic as I possibly can. And if I'm not giving you all authenticity, I'd rather not do a show. So thank y'all so much for those that reached out to me. I'm fine. Everything's cool. I just decided to take some time off to just kind of, recharge the batteries. And also, before I get started and before I start reading, your comments, also the State of the Saints podcast, we're doing a little bit of a fundraiser. We're raising money for the Conaway family, for those that probably stay in the Mississippi area or close to Mississippi, Jackson, Mississippi. A good friend of mine. Her name is Allison Conaway. She ended up tragically dying in a car accident. A drunk driver hit her and killed her and a 6-month-old son. And her 2 daughters are fighting right now in ICU. Allison was a good friend of mine. We went to Jackson State together back in from 05 to 2008. She was a good friend of mine. She crossed Sigma Gamma Rho spring of 07. I crossed Iota Phi Theta back in spring of 07. And, we became like really close friends with her and her line sisters, along with my frat brother. So, she ended up tragically passing away, her and her 6-month-old son. That's a picture of their family. So her husband, Charles Conaway, we want to raise some money, to give to him and the Conaway family. And for those that may know the story, keep the Conaway family in your prayers because I just watched an interview with the brother Charles Conaway, and it was really sad to watch. So keep that family in your prayers, man. Keep your family in your prayers. The link is down in the bottom. So if you look, I'm just saying, like, if you want to donate to the State of Saints podcast, fine. But I would prefer for you all to hit that link and get the money that you are going to give to the State of the Saints podcast. I will ask that you give it, in the form of that fundraiser. That link is available right now. So lift that family up in prayer. That's sad stuff right there, man. That girl was a wonderful, wonderful person. We're gonna go ahead and get started. King Newman says, if you're a real Taysom fan, then you'll leave him at the Swiss Army knife roll. Well, I think there's a lot of people out there, King, that want to see Taysom Hill succeed at quarterback. And I have no problem with that. I have no qualms with that. But I think that we need to be realistic. Now, there are probably some people out there that probably feel, well, Jameis is hurt. He's out for the year. Michael Thomas is hurt. He's out for the year. The Saints don't really have too many offensive weapons. And maybe, this is one of those years where just like anything that good can happen, that can possibly happen, I'm all for it, but I'm not expecting anything. I get it. So maybe you want to figure out what Taysom can do. But look at the New Orleans Saints, man. The New Orleans Saints are in a position they have no business being in. If you look at all the guys that have been hurt this entire season, been in and out of the injury room, in and out the hot tub, if you will. And the Saints still, as of right now, or a team that only have 2 losses. I mean, that's pretty damn incredible. And that's a really good job by the coaching staff. So when you look at the situation, I think the Saints are still in it. They still are a playoff team, and they're not mathematically eliminated just because they have a few injuries. And I don't think that Sean Payton is looking at it that way either. And the thing about Sean Payton, you have to give him a lot of credit because here's Taysom Hill, a guy that, I feel in my heart he wants to see succeed at the quarterback position. But for him to, grin and bear it and be like, okay, man, we're going to go with Trevor because we feel like Trevor can give us that best, the best chance of winning. I think that that's admirable of him, especially since Taysom was a part of that quarterback competition in preseason. So I have to give him respect on that because a lot of people may have thought maybe because, Taysom and Jameis were in that quarterback competition, Taysom comes back, gets a full day of practice. Maybe he'll be the starting quarterback. But Sean Payton said not so fast. I'm going to scroll down a little bit. Let's see. I don't see the Suck fans in the chat, and y'all know why. Well, we know why they're not in the chat. The reason why they're in the chat, they're not in there because they talked all that noise. See, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers really thought, that the Saints were just like a wounded animal. They were like the hyena. They were, or the buzzard, if you will, flying around waiting for that carcass to die. And they thought, oh man, the Saints don't have this. They don't have receivers. They don't have quarterback now because Jameis done got hurt. y'all just hopeless. Y'all hopeless, God dog it. But lo and behold, the New Orleans Saints still mustered up enough strength to get that dub. And what can they possibly say? Like, honestly, what can they possibly say? Who was really hurt, right? You basically have all your defense intact. Or you're going to say, what about the secondary? Look, there's nothing a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan can tell me that can convince me that they were more behind the 8 ball going into the game versus the Saints than the Saints were, okay? Because the Saints basically been playing with house money the entire season. Like, honestly, man, nobody really has expected the Saints to do what they have been doing this season. Like, everybody that you pick, every aficionado that you see are saying that, oh, man, they're going to fail. And the fact that the Saints have beaten their beloved Tampa Bay Buccaneers, what more can you say? The Saints are making the national media look like idiots. I'm serious. And it is I am enjoying it. It is lovely to watch. It's so lovely to watch smug SOBs finally get their comeuppance, finally getting them to shut the hell up. Don't it feel good Don't it feel good for all these people out here that always act like they know what they talking about, finally shutting the hell up? I mean, it feels so freaking good. I don't know about you, but it feels good to me. It feels good. I'm gonna scroll down a little bit. Vito in the house says, "Why won't the Saints acknowledge us? Why won't the Saints acknowledge us as a rival, but acknowledge the Falcons, Bucs fans? Because nobody cares. I don't want to say nobody cares. It's just the fact that you just don't become a rival just because who's on your team. Like a rivalry is built is we win one, you win one. It's a knockout, drag out brawl. You don't know who's going to win. One team may win one year, but the Saints have been dominating the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, right? We've been dominating the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And yeah, they'll say, well, we got y'all when it count. But still, we've been dragging their tails. I'm being dead serious, man. Look, if we fight, this is equivalent to me, and this for all my boxing fans out here. This is the prime example of a Deontay Wilder Tyson Fury fight. If you've been following that trilogy, you seen in the first fight, you seen Deontay Wilder knock down Tyson Fury, knocked him out. You know what I'm saying? Like to a point where people thought that he was gonna be down. You got him. You know what I'm saying? But then the last two fights, it wasn't even really a contest. You know what I'm saying? Like Tyson Fury won convincingly. The New Orleans Saints are just like they match up better against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers than any other team. Against Tom Brady, the New Orleans Saints dominate Tom Brady. The New Orleans Saints are the only team since Tampa Bay has gotten Tom Brady to make Tom Brady look and feel as if he's 44 years old. No other team has done this. And they can talk about, some of the things that happen in the playoffs. I will give them that. I will give them props for that. Okay? They won when it mattered most, the playoffs. But the national media will try to convince you that because Tampa won in the playoffs, that they're just leaps and bounds better than the Saints. And that ain't true. That ain't true. I look at the New York Football Giants. The New York Football Giants beat an undefeated New England Patriots team. You know what I'm saying? A team that was undefeated in the regular season. Do I feel like that New York Giants team was better than that New England Patriots team? No, I do not. Okay? They played better to a point where they had more points at the end, but that doesn't mean that they were better than the New England Patriots. Okay? I think that people just have this misconception that when at a certain point of importance, if my team beats your team, that means they're better. No, it doesn't. Anybody, think about this. Texas A&M knocked off Alabama. Would you bet that Texas A&M can knock off Alabama again if they play it again this season? Probably not. It happens. You know what I'm saying? That don't mean that they're better, but I will say this. I feel like the New Orleans Saints, when it comes down to it, they find ways to beat Tampa. And they make it seem relatively easy. I'm just being serious. They make it look easy. Now, you can talk about Antonio Brown not being there in the secondary, but at the same time, the Saints have been dealing with injuries all damn season. So it's hard for me to sit up here and just talk about the Buccaneers and make it seem like, I got sympathy for them. And they're a rivalry based on division, but they're not the rivalry of the division. It's the Falcons. It's the Falcons and then the Panthers and then the Bucs. The Bucs, you know what I'm saying? Like the Bucs to me is like the little brother who used to get beat in basketball all the time. But then all of a sudden, you know what I'm saying? He had a little growth spurt. He got a little taller than everybody else. He won a game, right? You know what I'm saying? But, that still don't mean that we ain't slapped you around all them years. That just mean that you done got tall. Go sit down somewhere. But we'll see. We'll see. Bro, and where were the Bucs before Brady? In the trash. And where will the Bucs be when Brady leaves? Unless they get somebody that's really valuable. Like if Aaron Rodgers leaves the Green Bay Packers and Brady retires and he falls into their lap again. Or somebody else that's climbing up the range like a Russell Wilson or something. Maybe. But at the same time, like the Buccaneers, they found lightning in a bottle. They found lightning in a bottle, but can they sustain that type of success once once Tom Brady leaves. I don't think so. I don't think so. TJ, we have a Super Bowl caliber defense, a serviceable quarterback, and a great coach. Okay. As much as this messes with our blood pressure, one game at a time, bro, we can make a deep run despite the odds. I'm going to be real with you, King Arthur. You know what this Saints team reminds me of? And I don't know if this is going to happen, but some of y'all probably know what I'm talking about. Back in 1999, you had the St. Louis Rams. You know what I'm saying? You had the St. Louis Rams. They paid a lot of money to a quarterback named Trent Green. He ends up getting hurt in the preseason, and all the hopes and dreams of the St. Louis Rams went into the trash. And you had Dick Vermeil come behind that podium, he come behind the microphone and says, we're going to rally around Kurt Warner and we're going to play good football. Here was a guy that was bagging groceries, playing in an arena football league where nobody knew exactly who Kurt Warner was or where he came from. And lo and behold, he wasn't the Kurt Warner that we know him as today. Okay, it took him a couple years, but he played serviceable football. He played behind a running back who could catch out of the backfield and run in between the tackles by the name of Marshall Faulk. Don't we have somebody that can catch the ball out of the backfield and run in between the tackles? He has some young players that can get down the field like a Torrey Holt. Don't we have some wide receivers that can get behind the defense? You know, so, and they had a really good defense, right? So I'm not saying they are the Rams. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about, like, we see the Rams as the greatest show on turf, but that was like 01, 02. 99, they were a team that was so unproven and thought that their season was in shambles because Trent Green was hurt. You got a lot of Saints fans today feel like the Saints season isn't in turmoil because Jameis Winston is hurt. So wasn't Kurt Warner a serviceable quarterback at that particular time? Right? And he was behind one of a really good architectural offensive mind in Mike Martz. I think that Trevor Siemian is behind one of a very innovative offensive mind in Sean Payton. So I'm not saying that the Saints going to the Super Bowl. All I'm saying is, for those that may feel like it is over, you might want to look at 1999 Rams when they thought that everything was over. I'm just being 100. I mean, some people might think that I'm losing my doggone mind, but I'm just being 100% real with you. You know, this smells and reminds me a lot of that Rams team, man. The same scenarios, the same amount of injuries, but they found ways to win. Even in the, you know what I'm saying, they had no business beating that Tennessee Titans team with Eddie George and Steve McNair. Everybody thought the Rams were going to lose that game. I thought the Rams were going to lose that game. And I was honestly rooting for Steve McNair, him going to HBCU and stuff like that back in the day, going to Alcorn, even though I can't stand Alcorn today. I don't know what I was thinking. But anyway, I was rooting for him. So they had no business, and they ended up winning the Super Bowl. So stranger things have happened, folks. Kim says, I forgot who said it on TV the other day, but they was like, let's not forget Brady didn't play well in the playoffs. It was the Saints who turned the ball over and gave the game away. Look, they found ways to win, Kim, and I'm not going to knock them for that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to knock them for finding ways to win. I just feel like they need to slow their roll if they just sitting up here talking about they just that much better than the Saints. Okay? It just, society has shown us and said to us, if you win the Super Bowl, you're the best team in the league. Now, by winning the Lombardi, you're the last team standing. Doesn't always tell a story. You're not going to tell me that like I said, the undefeated Patriots weren't better than the New York Giants. You're not going to tell me that Titans team wasn't better than the Rams. You're not going to tell me that, man. There are times where teams scheme better than others and they end up winning a game. And because they won the game, the history will tell a different story. But if you peel it back layer by layer, it will tell a story. I mean, it is what it is, man. They won the Super Bowl, and I give them credit for that. It's tough to win in this league. It's definitely tough to win a Super Bowl. But I'm not going to sit up here and just say that they dominate. Like, I'm just going to forget about the regular season and Saints slapping them around. They won when it counted. I will give them that. But for me to sit up here and say they were better, just better than the Saints, I don't believe that. Booker McFarland said, our win don't count because they didn't have all their people. Well, Booker McFarland, there's a reason why nobody really pays attention to what the hell he says, because that doesn't make any sense at all. I mean, it's so crazy, right? Because at the beginning of the week, everybody thought that the New Orleans Saints were going to lose because they didn't have anybody. No Michael Thomas. They don't have no wide receivers that can match the firepower. How they going to score with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? What they going to do? All they got is Alvin Kamara. That's what they said. So because the Saints were behind the 8 ball, that was the main reason why everybody was picking Tampa, right? So all of a sudden, Tampa goes into the game and loses. Now all of a sudden, no AB, the secondary. I'm like, who was Trevor Siemian throwing to? Was he throwing to Megatron up in this thing? Was he throwing to Randy Moss? He threw a 38-yard pass to Kevin White, okay? And ever since then, people treating Kevin White like he from the Make-A-Wish Foundation. I mean, I don't understand it. It was a bunch of unheralded heroes, okay? It was even a point where the announcer, when Kevin White caught the pass, he was like, who are these guys? Because nobody knew who they were. If you aren't a Saints fan, you don't know about the Saints wide receiver group. You don't know. You don't know what the heck is going on. So miss me with the nonsense. That's all I'm saying, man. Don't act as if I didn't see y'all talking all week long. Don't make it seem like I didn't, like Cat Williams say, don't you know we can see you? Don't you know we see what you're saying? You know what I'm saying, on the TV and how animated you are? Don't you know we can hear what you're saying and see you on television? We can see this. And for those that, aren't blessed with vision, they can hear it. T. Schmitty says media going to be mad Jameis, the Saints quarterback in 2022. I believe that. Me personally, I feel like Jameis done enough this season for him to come back as the New Orleans Saints quarterback. Now, I will say this. The Saints may have gotten lucky. Unfortunate for Jameis, but lucky for the Saints. Because if Jameis, who was on a trajectory to throw 35 to 40 touchdowns and have about 10 or 12 interceptions this season, if he would have came out there and put up those type of stats, yes, there would have had a bidding war for Jameis Winston. Rather y'all want to believe it or not, rather some of y'all rolling your eyes when I say that or not, there would have had a bidding war. But because, unfortunately, he got hurt, now it's going to seem a little bit easier for him to come back as a New Orleans Saints quarterback, because it's going to be like, well, ACL tear plus some MCL damage. Where is he? I don't know if I'm going to take that chance, especially if I am a GM who needs to start winning now. I ain't going to have no job. So might have made it easier for the Saints. So it would not surprise me to see him come back as the quarterback of the New Orleans Saints next season. And I think he's done enough. I'm not buying what these people that's talking that nonsense talking about, because the main issue that the way that some of these folks move the damn goalposts is unbelievable. At the beginning of the season, everybody was talking about 30 for 30, 30 for 30, 30 for 30, 30 for 30. Oh, he threw 30 touchdowns, 30 interceptions, 30, 30. Now all of a sudden, he has more touchdowns than interceptions, but it's not impressive. How the hell is it not impressive? The issue that you had with the guy was the fact that he threw a lot of interceptions. He turned the ball over at an alarming rate. He's not doing that. So for him to completely do a complete, like 180, what the hell are you talking about? Like, you moving the goalpost. Yeah, he's not turning the ball over, but he's not putting the ball in the air as much. What? If he is as bad as you say he is, no matter if he's throwing the ball 20 or 25 times or 40 times, he's going to turn the ball over a lot. So maybe he's not as bad as you think. Or maybe Sean Payton is really damn good at what he does. You look at every quarterback that come through this organization, get an opportunity to play. You look at Teddy Bridgewater. You look at him going 5-0. You look at him, getting the best out of Teddy Bridgewater. Teddy Bridgewater has been in Carolina. Teddy Bridgewater has been in Denver. has not been the same quarterback he was with the Saints. You look at Jameis Winston, what he had 14 touchdowns, 3 interceptions before his injury this past weekend, better in the Saints uniform than he was in Tampa. So all I'm saying is, damn, maybe Sean Payton is a really good coach. Maybe this guy understands what he needs to do in order to make that quarterback succeed, or give that quarterback an idea of what his trajectory can be if he turns his career around. So maybe we need to be giving this man some credit. But of course they won't, because they're going to continue to move the goalposts, because the narrative is that the guy is not good enough to be a starting quarterback. And when he proves that he's capable of winning games and doing a formidable job, it's not enough. It's not enough. It's not good enough. He's not throwing for 400 yards. Why? Okay, so you rather him throw for 400 yards and 3 interceptions, right? Right? That would make you feel good. So if he was throwing 2 touchdowns, and 4, you know what I'm saying, and 220 yards, that's not good enough. But if he was throwing for 400 yards and he had 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, then y'all can go on TV. Well, he had these many touchdowns, but he's turning the ball over. It's only a matter of time before he costs the Saints the game. Knock it off, man. Damn if you do. Damn if you don't. Anybody notice that they were trying to injure our players on purpose? They injured Winston and they tried to injure Siemian too. Or was I the only one that noticed? Well, yeah, I mean, it did look a little funny. You know what I'm saying? It did look a little funny. But at the same time, they were unsuccessful. And, I just think that, Antoine Winfield Jr., I think that was classless. You know what I'm saying? Him eating the W's after Jameis leaves the field with an ACL tear. Now, I will say maybe he didn't know the extent of the injury. But at the same time, man, you got to read the room. You got to read the room, my brother. But at the end of the day, I think he'll learn, man. He'll learn. But I like his. I like Winfield as a player, man. I like his energy. I think that he's the next Earl Thomas. You know what I'm saying? I think he's going to be one of those guys that probably going to be one of those lifers in Tampa. He's like one of those guys that every team needs. His type of energy. I just think that was just dumb. J-Rock, thank you very much for the $5. I do apologize, y'all. I'm dealing with a little sinus cold right now. Just weather change is crazy. Thank you for the $5. J-Rock says, TJ, you brought up the 1999 Rams. I'm thinking of the 1990 New York Giants led by quarterback Jeff Hostetler on offense and LT on defense. Okay, that's a good one too. That's a good one too. That's a good example. Jeff Hostetler, Phil Simms go down, had that big magical run, got himself paid by the Raiders. Yeah, I know something about Hostetler, man. I know about Hostetler with the Tom Selleck mustache. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Jeff Hostetler, man, he had a good little run. You know what I'm saying? He got himself paid with the Raiders. I mean, I've seen crazier things happen. I just think that as long as they can play good defense, Siemian don't turn the ball over, get the ball where it needs to be, I think he'll be just fine. Kim says sign him back. He was cooking Tampa. Yeah. You have to block the media out. Yeah, I don't pay attention to a lot of this stuff. I'm just I pay attention to it because, of course, me doing this podcast, I have to kind of read the room and understand what's going on here. But at the end of the day, I don't let them cloud my judgment. And but it's just so nonsensical at times, and it's also ridiculous how they just make it seem like you don't listen to what they say, like how they continue to change the narrative week after week, as if we didn't watch y'all last week say something completely different. It's kind of funny when you think about it. Jameis will come a lot cheaper in 2022. I think that it's going to be I think it's probably going to be an identical contract, something of a prove it deals like it was this past year. The same year Tom Brady won the Super Bowl for the Patriots, Bucs for life. Let's see. A guy at work said that play wasn't a horse collar. I'm like, yes, it was. He grabbed his nameplate and pulled him backwards. Well, his the way that he you know what I'm saying, he was pulled backwards. I mean, it pretty much speaks for itself on that one, Joshua. I wouldn't even waste my time with that argument. That's just somebody that just, a contrarian, just wants to be right. I was thinking the same thing about Winston's future. Yeah, I feel sorry for you Buccaneers, life being trash all those years. Well, look, they're the Super Bowl champions right now, so they riding high. I don't feel too bad for them. And in some ways, I'm envious of them, because I want what they have. Hey TJ, I'm hearing a lot of Phillip Rivers talk. What do you think? I think hell no, Joseph. I think hell to the no. Phillip Rivers, no disrespect to him. Hall of Fame caliber career. Did a lot of great things for the Chargers, but no, you know what I'm saying? Like I never really been a Phillip Rivers fan like that. I think the Saints are okay, you know what I'm saying? And honestly, I think the Saints can do better than Phillip Rivers. Honestly, if I can call up the Chicago Bears and get, you know what I'm saying, Nick Foles from them, I'll be straight. You know what I'm saying? I would take Nick Foles over Phillip Rivers. Trying to think of some more guys that are out there right now that, you know what I'm saying, that I would put in their place. Drew Lock, you know what I'm saying? I would take him over, I would take him over Phillip Rivers. There's a lot of guys out there I would take over Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers is doing a really good job coaching high school football from what I hear. So I think he needs to continue to do that. He has a lot of kids, and I think they deserve a lot of his attention. They've made a lot of sacrifices over the years, him being away from them. Finally, he can be there for his wife and his kids, and I think he needs to just stay right there. I'm hoping Jameis and Mike come back and draft a receiver. Oh, yeah, not to mention Cam Newton, too. I hope Jameis and Mike come back and draft a receiver in the first round, and we would be good to go. Yeah, the Saints definitely need to draft a receiver in the first round, but what the hell do I know? The Saints always seem to need something, and they get going a completely different direction. It's like the Saints always, they're about two houses down from getting to their destination, but they decide to turn the corner and circle the block before they get to their destination for some apparent reason. I don't know, but they know their organization better than me. I just think it's about time they get themselves a wide receiver, a young guy that they can mold and possibly be a number one in the future. Or if Michael Thomas continues to, sustain these different injuries, that guy can step up and give you number one type talent. Lattimore was on him even on that touchdown he caught. It happens. That's the only play Evans had the whole game. Lattimore was on him quite well. That's why Brady kept going to Godwin. Yeah, I mean, Godwin was eating out there, and he was doing C.J. Gardner-Johnson dirty. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that interception really tells the whole story. It's good that he had it, and also there was almost a fumble recovery that was called back. But anyway, I mean, look, Mike Evans, Marshawn Lattimore, for the most part, Marshawn Lattimore has been winning that matchup. Mike Evans, I mean, he got that touchdown, but we know these guys have played each other several times, and Lattimore, honestly, is ahead in points, and Mike Evans got ways to catch up. I'm so proud of Jameis. He talked the talk and walked the walk. Brady almost had more interceptions in the game than Winston all year. I'm gonna be real. Excuse me. If Jameis would have stayed in the game, I don't think the game would have been close. I'm just being serious. I think the Saints would have dominated. I'm being so serious. I think if Jameis would have stayed in that game, I think the Saints would have blew out Tampa. That's the way I feel. That's the way that game was going. The way this dude was playing, the way he was playing in that game before he got hurt, he wasn't gonna lose that game. Like, that was the only way that he was going to lose that game. Y'all take him out, in which they did. This is a win-win for us. Trevor balls out and we go for, or we get Jameis back next year. Trevor is a guy with nothing to lose, nothing scarier than that. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I feel like the Saints are a team with nothing to lose. Anything the Saints do from this point forward, be real, who that nation. This isn't like a couple years ago when Drew Brees was the quarterback. Now, let me before I get into this point, because some people I can see people right now ready to type. Oh man, TJ talking about the Saints don't need to win. Hear me out. When Drew Brees was the quarterback, we have to understand we felt it was Super Bowl a buzz every single year because we had ourselves a Hall of Fame caliber quarterback. When the Saints lost, those losses felt like a huge boulders coming down on our heads. Now it's like you're going to Vegas and you're playing with house money right now, right? Anything that happened to you positive, that's great. That's icing on top of the cake. If I lose, well, I'm not losing my money. This is the house money that I'm using right now. That's the way that it feels to be a Saints fan right now. You want them to win. You want to win. You want the expectations of winning. But if they lose, you have a tendency of understanding a little bit more than when Drew Brees was the quarterback. When the Saints are in the playoffs and you have Drew Brees as your quarterback, well, you know what I'm saying? You expect to win. And when they don't win, you're kind of ticked off because you felt like you had something special in a quarterback, and that quarterback didn't deliver. If Trevor Siemian leads the Saints to the playoffs and the Saints make some noise in the playoffs and they lose in the divisional round or they lose in the NFC Championship game, yes, it's going to hurt because inside you're a fan, but there's going to be that glass half full type mentality that you have like, man, dang, man, we came this far with Trevor Siemian. It's kind of like when Philly lost to the Saints in the divisional round. When you had Carson Wentz and then Nick Foles comes in, and Nick Foles, they end up beating Chicago because the kicker, Cody Parkey, who the Saints had for about a cup of coffee, missed that field goal. They come to New Orleans and lose. You could tell on their faces like, man, nobody expected us to go this far. Kind of the same way with Trevor Siemian. You're going to feel bad because you're a fan, but at the same time, you're like, we don't supposed to be here. You know, like nobody expected us to do anything. So for us to do anything, you're like, hell yeah. Funk Winfield, he was mocking Jameis on camera during the Eat the W celebration after Jameis gets hurt. Yeah, that was classless, man. Look, I didn't like the move, but you know, like I said, he's young, man. He gonna learn, and I'm not gonna say I just dislike the guy. You know, I'm not gonna say I just completely dislike the guy because there's always a guy on the team that nobody likes, but if you're rooting for that team, you love him. Like CJ Garner-Johnson. Like CJ Garner-Johnson, we all love him. But let's just say if he were playing for Tampa, we would hate that guy's guts because of who he is. It's just like that's just the way the ball bounces sometimes. Change your name to Bandwagon for Life, bro, not Bucs for Life. I'm mad at you, TJ. Had us waiting last weekend. I really do enjoy your show. Roderick, I apologize, man. But like I said, man, I had to recharge the batteries. I wasn't really feeling doing the podcast thing. You know, I was, you know, I just needed a break, man. I'm just being serious. I'm not going to get behind the mic and give you all, you know what I'm saying, a half-ass show. I'm just not. That's not how I operate. I will never operate like that. I'd rather not do a show than to give you guys half of a show. And I know when I'm not giving my all. So, Roderick, I do apologize, but just, you know, I hope you understand that I just want to give you all the best version of myself that I possibly can when I get behind this mic. And if I can't, then I'll never get behind this mic. It just not happen. But I want to take this time to mention one of our sponsors, DraftKings. DraftKings is the new sponsor of the State of the Saints podcast. It says, football fans, who's ready to score some free bets? Now you can when you bet on any NFL game this week with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. New customers who bet just $1 on either team to score can win $100 in free bets. When a team scores, you scores. Now, if Sportsbook isn't in your state yet, DraftKings won't leave you empty-handed. Everyone can play for huge cash prizes all season long with DraftKings Daily Fantasy Sports Contest. DraftKings giving all new customers a free slot at $1 million in total prizes with their first deposit. All you have to do is go to DraftKings.com, download the app, and use the promo code SOTS, bet $1, and you will get a $100 credit. So I want to thank the fine folks at DraftKings being the new sponsor of the State of the Saints podcast. Let's go ahead and go a little scroll down a little bit, continue the show. Ant-Man, thank you very much for the $2. Says, did Jameis have his surgery yet? I haven't heard anything about a surgery. I haven't heard anything yet. I'm pretty sure that he did. Usually, like on those ACL injuries, they try to get those guys under the knife. They try to do that relatively quickly. Finally, it took a while, but we finally got here. If Beckham comes to us, you think it would work out? You think he would turn over a new leaf by coming to play at home? Danny, absolutely. I really wholeheartedly believe that Odell Beckham. Look, I ain't got no problem with Odell. Okay, I just feel like if we're gonna be, criticizing the media in some situations, we need to really look at the media in situations that really don't affect us. I do feel like there's this narrative that, with Odell Beckham Jr. that kind of, the media kind of ran with. I do feel like, that one-handed catch did kind of get to his head, but he's young. You know what I'm saying? He's young. You get starting to get all that attention. You're in New York. You're the toast of the town. We know New York is a big-time media market. And, him going to Cleveland, I think that, it kind of tells him and shows him that, dang, I had it pretty good, being a number one receiver. So I do think if he comes to New Orleans, I think, number one, he will be the number one receiver off the bat. Okay, he ain't got to worry about, are they going to throw me the football? No, they're going to throw you the football. But also, I just think that he's going to embrace that. I think the culture of the Saints locker room, those guys can reel them in. I just feel like the culture here, the fans, I just think that the stars are all aligned. Not to mention Sean Payton. I think Sean Payton will get his career back on track, and I think that people will start to recognize who Odell Beckham Jr. is. You know what I'm saying? Some of us probably, missed him for a while. You know what I'm saying? You're probably going back a couple years ago. You probably remember how good he can be, but a lot of people forgot. Nobody really mentions Odell Beckham Jr. being in that top 10 receiving group anymore, right? But I think Sean Payton will have everybody realizing how special this guy is. And I think that he's going to embrace that. Especially, like, it's different, man. You playing at home, playing in front of the home crowd, playing for a team that you grew up cheering for, is different, So I do think that he would embrace that. And I do feel like it would help him to step up. Read a few more, and then we're going to get up out of here, folks. LOL, I was about to put an APB out for you. Glad you got some rest. Terry, I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm back. I'm excited about being back. New position, new job. Just been, and also, like I said, I just had to recharge the batteries. I just had to get into a good headspace. And I just didn't like the trajectory I was on at the time. I won't get into like full details. Maybe one day, if I feel like, I'm in that zone and I feel like it'll be beneficial to a conversation, I will. But I just wasn't on the right trajectory. I wasn't liking what I was seeing in the mirror. And I definitely didn't like the attitude that I was getting. And not to mention, some of the broken promises by, some of the things that I thought would, happen. But it's a lot, man. So I decided just take a break. But I'm back, man, and I'm excited about being back. And I miss you all, man. And also, it's humbling that people reached out, man. People were emailing me, and trying to find ways to get in touch with me, asking me, am I all right? And I must enjoy the show. That's humbling. And I appreciate that, The Saints need to try to get OBJ. Well, they tried. And the Browns proved that they're not shrewd businessmen. Shows that that's the reason why they've been in a basement all these years, But it looks like, the Saints going to have opportunity because I don't see any team. Picking this dude up off waivers. Like you don't want to pay that type of money. So I do feel like he's going to clear waivers. And why would you even put yourself through that type of situation, right? If you're not a team that's a potential playoff team, why would you sit up there and pick this guy up, knowing that most likely he ain't gonna want to play for your squad? You know that you know that he ain't gonna want to play for your squad. So why would you even put yourself in that type of position? I have absolutely no idea. So I do think he's going to clear waivers, and the option is going to be up to him, which it should be. Ronald, thank you very much for the $10. I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. OBJ will be a Saint. Name it and claim it. Who wouldn't want to play for their hometown team? If the Saints call me, I'll be honored. Now, Ray, I'm going to be real with you, okay? If my hometown team suck, I love them, but I wouldn't want to play for them, okay? I don't like to lose, okay? If you're a competitor, you ain't going to like to lose, okay? So, look, I'm pretty sure there's some guys that are natives of Jacksonville. But if they become free agents, I don't think they'll be running and heading toward Jacksonville. I just don't believe that, okay? I do think that a winning culture matters. I think that coaching matters. And no disrespect to any other team. I've seen some of these other teams that can pick them up and have free you know what I'm saying, like first dibs on them. I've seen the teams. But I'm just being serious. There's not one team on that list I feel like will give Odell Beckham Jr. a better opportunity to really maximize his potential as of right now than the New Orleans Saints. Like, you got to be an absolute fool. If your issue is the quarterback not throwing you the football, you have first wide receiver type talent. I mean, come on, man. Like, looking at that list, maybe the Raiders. Okay, you know what I'm saying? They on a playoff run, but I mean, come on, man. Like, the Raiders haven't done nothing in years. They're still in prove-it mode, right? They're having a good run. They're flying under the radar. To me, they're a very good football team as of right now. And John Gruden being gone, I think they're going to be even better. I just feel like he kind of, set them back. But when it comes to play calling, when it comes to offensive innovation, when it comes to being heavily involved in the offense, and we all know that Sean Payton will maximize your potential. If you do anything well, he is going to exploit that. Dude had Willie Snead throwing the ball in a divisional round of playoffs. Okay, I mean, come on, man. Like, this dude is like, man, this dude is an offensive guru. So why wouldn't you want to come to the New Orleans Saints? Like, seriously, the Saints are a winning franchise. They make the playoffs every year, and you have an opportunity to be a number one receiver with an offensive, innovative coach. Why in the world wouldn't you want to do that? Like, I understand the Raiders got a new stadium, and it looks great from what I hear. My brother, shouts out to EJ. I think he passed there or something like that, talked about how good it looked. Look, I get all that. Being in Vegas and all that, that's cool. But at the same time, they still are trying to create some type of legacy right now. Why wouldn't you want to play for the Saints? Yeah, I'm serious. If you're an offensive player, why wouldn't you want to go to one of the best offensive play callers in football? Raiders just reconstructed a contract to free up $1 million. Well, like I said, there's opportunity. I'm pretty sure if, they get the opportunity, maybe, they'll do it. I think they were a part of that waiver list. So maybe they want to pick up that contract. Maybe they want to, but I'm just saying, if the option was given, okay, if he doesn't clear waivers and the Raiders get him, then it is what it is. But if it's up to him, why wouldn't he want to come to the New Orleans Saints? That's all I'm saying. That wouldn't make sense to me. Somebody help me make sense of that. New job, what happened to you? Glad you're back. I'm not really gonna go into details. Yeah, just a job change, man. Job change and title change. And that's about it, man. But like I said, I just had to recharge the batteries, man. I had to prioritize a little bit better. The Browns are doing the very thing the Saints tried to get them to do prior to the deadline. and that was cover this year's salary with a signing bonus. Browns are a terrible they have a terrible front office. I'm gonna be real with you. The only reason why they get players right now is because all that losing they done all over the years. They have a lot of young players, right? They still got a lot of young players on rookie deals. They got top 5 talent on rookie deals. Ronald, thank you very much for $5. Says, TJ, do you think it's going to be all about Sean Payton this year? Yeah, it should be. You know, like, man, look, no matter what your reservations are about Sean Payton, no matter if, you know, me, I was ready to break my TV on that goal in that red zone in the fourth quarter with about a minute left. I was like, what the hell is he thinking? Like, my goodness. Like, why are you throwing a football? Like, run the football to burn the time. I feel like Dennis Allen saved his tail, or we would be having a completely different conversation about it. But regardless, no matter what your reservations are, the dude is one hell of a football coach. The dude will maximize your potential. You know what I'm saying? Like anything like you're good at, he's going to push it to the max, and he's going to use it in order for the Saints to be successful. I will give him that. Okay, so it is about him. It is like the Saints have no business being a half game, you know what I'm saying, a half game away from leading this division. Don't you understand? If the Saints beat Atlanta, they lead the division. That is insane. Like, there's not a coach out there that will lose those starting players like that, in my mind. Maybe Belichick. That will be able to muster up as much talent, you know what I'm saying, to muster up that type of talent in order for them to win these games. Like, the Saints have no freaking business even being in a winner circle. Like, seriously, look at the injuries, man. Look at the players that they lost this season. Look at the guys who have been injured throughout the season, and these guys are still winning. That is insane. You're still 4-2. That is insane, folks. That is freaking insane. There's not many teams that can do this. So yes, he is a special coach. And if the Saints find a way to make the playoffs, he will be coach of the year. There's no way that you can deny this dude being coach of the year if the Saints make the playoffs. No way. Let's see. And I end it with this one right here. Because got to put my boy to bed. Henry Ruggs, tragic. Absolutely, Ghostface. Absolutely tragic. You know, it's hard for me to, I don't know, man. I don't want to say it's hard for me to be sympathetic about this type of situation. Now, it's awful that the kid made a bad decision, that he decided to drink, get behind the wheel, and kill somebody. Like, it's awful. And I just, for some of you that probably, heard the show in the beginning, you know what I'm saying, when we first started, I talked about my friend Allison. You know what I'm saying? Like, my friend Allison and her son were killed by a drunk driver. The lady that got behind the wheel was drunk, hit them and killed them. And it's hard for me to, I don't know, man. I'm just not in a good spot because I can't think about Henry Ruggs without thinking about Allison. So how do I do this? Like, how do I practice forgiveness? You know what I'm saying? Like, either way, it just does not make sense. It doesn't make sense. If you're drinking, like, don't get behind the wheel. And I know it's easier said than done. And if I was to sit up here, I'm not going to sit up here and sugarcoat, okay? I think, you know what I'm saying, I've been one of those stupid people that did that before. I'm just being 100 because I want people to understand this. I'm just fortunate that, you know what I'm saying, I didn't hurt anybody. And if anybody has ever done this before, or thinking about doing this, do not do this. Okay. Like, get a keys to your friend. You know what I'm saying? Get an Uber. Like, do not get behind the wheel and hurt anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, there's a chance that you can hurt somebody. And I just hope that you know what I'm saying, these situations can show you and tell you, you know what I'm saying, that there's a possibility that you're not just playing, you know what I'm saying, with your life, you're playing with somebody else's life. So Henry Ruggs had to find out the hard way, man. He's young. What, he about 22, 23 years old? He's young. It's sad that he had to lose his football career as of right now, but there are bigger things that's going on right now more than Henry Ruggs' career, and that's that young lady who I feel bad because, you know, her family is missing a daughter right now. So it's unfortunate, but I will say, do not drink and drive. Don't get behind the wheel if you've been drinking, and you know, just think about others. You know, think about others before, you know, you think about yourself. And it just made me think, you know what I'm saying, to those stupid days back then, like how selfish I was and how I don't want to be that selfish ever again. So for all my people out there, don't be selfish, you know, and it's unfortunate. But I want to say thank you all for checking out the State of the Saints podcast. Really do appreciate it. Also wanted to mention once again, for all the people out there that may have tuned in a little later, we're doing a fundraiser for the Conaway family. I mentioned my friend Allison, who died tragically, her and her 6-month-old son in a car crash. They were hit by a drunk driver. Want to donate some money to the Conaway family. The link is all in the description for Facebook as well as YouTube if you want to donate some money to Allison's family, Charles Conaway, her husband. You know, that beautiful family right there, man. And got just the 6-month-old son that Charles is holding, and her 2 daughters right now. They're in ICU fighting for their lives, man. So really good friend of mine, you know what I'm saying, in college, you know what I'm saying, a very beautiful spirit, good human being, man, you know, good mother. And, you know, it's sad that this situation happened. Okay. So my heart goes out to the young lady who lost her life in the crash with Henry Ruggs, and heart goes out to the Conaway family, man. Y'all keep those individuals in your prayers for all my people that's of faith. But this has been the State of the Saints podcast. Thank you so much. Check out previous episodes on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Anchor FM. State of the Saints podcast, once again, brought to you by Manscaped and DraftKings. Use the promo code SOTS. Download that DraftKings app. And also State of Saints on Manscaped. You save 20% off for your purchase. Thank you all for those that purchase Manscaped. And yeah, man, I'm just excited, man. Looking forward to this game this weekend versus the Atlanta Falcons. We'll have the prediction show on tomorrow. Who will win that game? I'll break that down for you. Keep those comments coming, man. Thank y'all so much for your love and your support. Those that reached out to me, that mean a lot. And ready to rock and roll, man. Keep this show going. The State of the Saints podcast. Till next time, all I gotta say is, who that?